The vast darkness of space never seemed so congested as it did in the sectors surrounding the tenebrous nebula. Starships of various sizes and origins darted across the cosmic canvas, their hulls gleaming under the distant stellar light. Among these celestial voyagers was the UHS Valor, a human battleship with a reputation as solid as its titanium-reinforced hull. Today it was speeding towards the Galactic Council's space station, a monumental structure orbiting the peaceful planet of Paxion. Captain Alara Miles stood at the helm of the Valor, her gaze fixed on the view screen displaying the looming space station. Her crew, a blend of battle-hardened veterans and spirited rookies, awaited her orders with disciplined silence. The atmosphere was electric, charged with a mix of anticipation and the residual adrenaline from their last skirmish. As they worked side by side, Lyra spoke of the Akari's understanding of ecosystems, which, like the Earth's rivers, were networks of interdependent life forms. She explained how her people managed their resources, always mindful of maintaining harmony within their environments. This perspective was not just practical but deeply spiritual for the Akari, who believed that all cosmic entities were linked, each star and planet a node in the greater web of the universe. John shared human stories where rivers were seen as the veins of the earth, carriers of lifeblood that nourished civilizations and cultures. He recounted tales of river gods and goddesses, revered for their power to give and take life, and how these deities figured into the moral and ethical frameworks of societies, guiding their interactions with the natural world. Captain Miles nodded, her mind racing through the implications. Keep us on course, but follow their directive. Power down weapons, but keep shields up. We don't know what's waiting for us. The Valor glided into the designated docking bay, a massive enclosure that housed dozens of other ships, many bearing the scars of recent battles. As the airlock sealed with a hiss, Captain Miles and her delegation prepared to disembark. The Council had promised an assembly of unprecedented importance, urging all factions to attend. Stepping onto the Council station, the human delegation was met with a scene of unusual cooperation. Species that were normally at each other's throats now stood side by side, their attention focused on the central dais where the Council's leaders were gathered. "Representatives of the Galactic community," began Ceasefire, the Council's presiding officer, his voice echoing through the hall. "We find ourselves at a critical junction. Reports of an unknown anomaly at the edge of the tenebrous nebula have necessitated a ceasefire. This is not merely a pause in hostilities but a call to unity." The crowd murmured, the news of the anomaly stirring a mix of curiosity and dread. Anomalies in such a contested region were rare and often ominous. Captain Miles stepped forward, her voice calm yet assertive. "What nature does this anomaly possess, and why does it warrant a ceasefire?" Ceasefire gestured to the holographic display behind him, which flickered to life, showing a swirling vortex of dark energy at the nebula's edge. "This anomaly has begun emitting waves of quantum disturbances. Initial scans suggest it could unravel the very fabric of space-time in its vicinity." The room fell silent, the gravity of the situation dawning on all present. Unraveling space-time wasn't just a threat, it was a potential cataclysm. "We are proposing a joint scientific and military initiative," continued Ceasefire. "We need to investigate and, if possible, neutralize this threat. The survival of our galaxy may depend on our ability to set aside our differences and work together." Captain Miles exchanged a glance with her crew. Humanity had never shied away from a challenge, especially one that bore the weight of existential threat. "Humanity stands ready," she declared, her voice resonant in the now hushed chamber. "We may have been just getting started in our campaign, but we understand the stakes. Let us lead the charge." A murmur of approval rippled through the assembly, the unified spirit of the gathering palpable, as strategies began to form and alliances, however tentative, started to take shape. Captain Miles knew that this unexpected ceasefire was just the beginning of a much larger battle, one that transcended old feuds and rivalries. For now, humanity would lead the way into the unknown. Beneath the luminescent glow of Paxion's twin moons, the assembly on the Galactic Council's station transitioned from tense diplomacy to urgent planning. On a wide balcony overlooking the stellar expanse, Captain Alara Miles convened with representatives of the Akron Consortium and the Verlix Hive, species known not just for their wisdom but also for their deep-rooted connections to ancient cosmic lore. Each of you has seen the dark maelstrom brewing at the nebula's edge, Ilara stated, her voice firm against the backdrop of stars. This threat, it's unlike any we've faced. What insights can your histories offer? Akron's ambassador, Thali, draped in robes shimmering with star-like speckles, stepped forward. His eyes, reflecting the moon's glow, held a depth of millennia. Our ancestors speak of a void that consumed light, a devourer of realms. They sealed it once with harmonics of the celestial lattice. Beside him, the chitinous Verlix emissary, Hissa, clicked her mandibles in agreement. Indeed, the Hive's chronicles resonate with similar tales. Our forebears forged alliances with star wanderers to restore cosmic balance. We need such unity now. Their words hung heavy in the air, weaving tales of yore into the tapestry of present challenges. Ilara nodded, absorbing their counsel. We shall harness your ancestral knowledge and our own human resilience. Let's forge this alliance not just in necessity, but in strength. Back inside the station's main chamber, a holographic star map flickered to life, illuminating faces with a ghostly blue. It displayed strategic points around the nebula, potential sites for deploying their combined fleets. Observations suggest the anomaly's influence is expanding, explained a scientist from the Talmor Federation, his datapads whirring with updates. We must establish a perimeter of monitoring stations here, here, and here. His fingers traced arcs across the map, delineating zones of high priority. Ilara turned to her tactical advisor, Commander Rilke, a veteran whose scars spoke of battles past. Commander, prepare our fleets. Coordinate with the Akron and Verlix. We need a mesh of defense, not just a line. Rilke nodded, his gaze steely. Understood, Captain. I'll arrange the fleets into interlocking sectors. We'll create a net that not even quantum disturbances can slip through. As the group dispersed to relay orders and coordinate their next moves, Ilara lingered by the map. Her mind raced through strategies, each decision branching into myriad possibilities, none without risk. The enigma of the dark vortex called not just for military might, but for a confluence of science and ancient wisdom. Night deepened, wrapping the station in a cloak of expectancy. In the quiet hours, Ilara walked the halls, her footsteps echoing softly. Here, in the nexus of galactic collaboration, she found a moment of solace amid the storm of preparations. Whispers of the past mingled with the hum of the present. The tales of old were not just stories, but beacons, guiding them through the shadowed realms of uncertainty. This confluence, this gathering of myriad beings against a common foe, it mirrored the legend spoken by Thali and Hissa. As dawn's first light breached the horizon of Paxion below, casting its gentle glow through the station's vast windows, Ilara felt a quiet resolve settle within her. The day ahead would bring its trials, its demands for sacrifices and heroics. But in this moment, under the watchful gaze of the stars, there was a rare peace, a calm before the tempest that would test the very fabric of their universe. As dawn's embrace softened the darkness around Paxion, Ilara convened with her allies beneath the ancient archways that adorned the Galactic Council's observatory. Here, where the infinite expanse of the cosmos could be viewed in its awe-inspiring entirety, the mood was one of solemn resolve, mingled with the unspoken fears of the unknown. Around the circular table, a map of the nebula and its surroundings glowed softly, casting ethereal lights on the faces of those gathered. Each representative stood as a guardian of their people, their expressions etched with the weight of impending decisions. "Behold!" started Ilara, pointing to the pulsating core of the anomaly projected above them. "This void grows hungrier, swallowing the light of nearby stars. Our task is formidable." The Akron sage, Thali, responded with a voice as calm as the deep ocean. "Our ancestors spoke of the star loom, a fabric woven by the cosmos itself to mend tears in the universe. Perhaps in combining our technologies and ancient wisdoms, we can recreate such a loom." Hissa of the Verlix Hive vibrated her wings in assent, her voice a harmonic blend of caution and courage. "The Hive agrees. We offer our bioengineers, adept at crafting structures from the living silica found on our homeworld. They can build frameworks for the star loom. A murmur of approval circulated the table. Ilara noted each nod, the silent affirmations of species once divided by galaxies now united by a common cause. Their discussion was suddenly interrupted by a distress signal, a sharp cry slicing through the observatory's serene hum. "Alert! A scouting party has encountered an advanced scout of the void anomaly. Immediate assistance requested." Without hesitation, Ilara responded. "Commander Rilke, deploy the rapid response units. We must protect our scouts and gather more intel on this advancing scout." As Rilke moved to carry out her orders, Ilara turned to the assembly. "This encounter may provide us the insight we need to understand our enemy. Let's prepare to analyze any data our teams can retrieve. Speed is of the essence." The team sprang into action, their earlier deliberations transforming into decisive moves. Specialists from different worlds manned their stations, monitoring the situation unfolding at the edge of the nebula. Meanwhile, Ilara received a transmission from the front lines. "Captain, we've managed to contain the scout entity, but its structure is unlike anything we've encountered. It seems to phase in and out of our dimension." Intrigued and alarmed, Ilara instructed, "Isolate it and begin analysis. Be cautious, we do not fully comprehend its capabilities or origins." Back at the observatory, Thali and Hassa collaborated, poring over ancient texts and digital archives, searching for any reference that might shed light on this phasing entity. Their efforts uncovered cryptic allusions to shadow weavers, entities capable of manipulating the dark fabric between stars. As these revelations unfolded, Ilara and her coalition worked tirelessly, linking every piece of knowledge and technology at their disposal. The Starloom concept evolved from myth into a tangible blueprint, combining the Akran's celestial harmonics with the structural ingenuity of the Verlix. The night once again took hold, shrouding Paxion in mystery and quiet anticipation. Above them, stars twinkled, oblivious to the dramas unfolding in their midst. Ilara stood by the observatory window, her eyes not on the documents or the glowing screens, but on the vast, silent dance of the universe. She knew the hours ahead would bring more challenges, possibly even direct confrontations with forces beyond their current understanding. Yet, in this moment of calm, she felt the united pulse of myriad worlds, their collective breath a testament to the power of shared destinies intertwined by necessity and newfound kinship. Under the dual moons of Paxion, the night stretched vast and deep, its starry veil a silent witness to the unfolding saga below. Within the luminous corridors of the Galactic Council's observatory, the air was thick with anticipation as the coalition labored through the night, weaving together strands of hope and strategy like the fabled weavers of Yorith spun their unbreakable threads. Ilara stood at the heart of the command center, surrounded by a mosaic of faces from distant worlds, each one alight with the determination that their united efforts would bear fruit. The holographic displays flickered with constant updates, showing the shifting patterns of the nebula and the contained scout from the void. Thali, his face serene yet marked by the fatigue of endless hours, approached Ilara with a new finding. "Captain, we've identified a frequency within the Shadow Weaver's energy pattern. It resonates closely with the harmonic scales used in our ancient sealing rites." Ilara's eyes lit with a cautious spark of hope. "Could we adapt these rites into a form of containment? To bind the anomaly?" "Precisely," Thali affirmed. "With the Verlix engineers, we can construct a harmonic resonator. It would generate a symphony of cosmic frequencies, potentially stabilizing the anomaly, or even sealing it." Nearby, Hassa sketched rapid diagrams of the resonator, her limbs a blur of motion. "We will use the living silica to construct the core. It will not only resonate with the harmonics, but also adapt and strengthen as needed." The assembly watched as their plan took shape, a daring synthesis of ancient rites and modern technology. Engineers and scientists from various races collaborated, their former rivalries forgotten amid the urgency of their task. Meanwhile, the scouting teams continued to send reports. The void anomaly appeared to pulse irregularly, as if disturbed or perhaps intrigued by their activities. Ilara mulled over each report, aware that understanding this entity could be key to their success. "Keep the scouts at a safe distance but maintain constant surveillance," she instructed her communications officer. "Any change in pattern, I want to know immediately." As the prototype of the resonator neared completion, a test was conducted under the watchful eyes of the Coalition. The device, a beautiful construct of crystal and light, hummed to life, its tones pure and hauntingly melodic. The initial tests were promising. The frequencies emitted by the resonator mirrored those found in the Shadow Weaver's structure, causing it to momentarily stabilize. Excitement rippled through the command center, mixed with a profound sense of awe at the power of their collaborative creation. With a nod from Ilara, the final adjustments were made. A larger, more powerful version of the resonator would be deployed at the nebula's edge, surrounded by a fleet ready to defend it. As preparations for the deployment progressed, Ilara walked to a secluded part of the observatory. Looking out over the expanse of space, she contemplated the ancient stories that had brought them to this point. The legends of old were no longer mere tales to entertain or instruct. They were blueprints for survival, testaments to the enduring spirit of diverse beings bound by a shared destiny. In the quiet solitude, the captain prepared herself for what was to come. Tomorrow, they would face the anomaly with the best of their combined wisdom and courage. Tonight, however, they watched the stars, each one a silent guardian in the symphony of the cosmos. The echoes of the ancients whispered in the darkness, ready to lend their strength to those who dared to listen and learn. As the new dawn crested over Paxion's horizon, its first light mingled with the starlight to bathe the Galactic Council's observatory in a soft luminescence. The great hall, usually echoing with the footfalls of many, was hushed, as if the impending day commanded a reverence for the tasks at hand. Ilara, ever vigilant, paced before the vast viewport, watching as the fleet assembled at the nebula's boundary. Ships from across the galaxy, their hulls etched with the symbols of their peoples, formed a complex web around the newly constructed resonator. This monumental device, larger and more potent than its predecessor, gleamed like a beacon against the darkness of space. With a calm born of countless battles, Ilara communicated with her counterparts on each ship. Today we unite not merely as allies, but as bearers of hope. Let the resonator be our guide and shield. The engineers and bioengineers, both human and Verlix, completed their final checks. Thali, overseeing the integration of the ancient harmonics, offered a nod of approval to Ilara. "The resonator is ready, Captain. When you give the word, we will begin." Ilara returned his nod, her gaze steady. "Initiate the sequence. Let us weave this new star loom." At her command, the resonator hummed to life, its core pulsating with a rhythmic glow. The sound, both deep and encompassing, filled the void, weaving through the cosmos as the ancient looms had woven threads. The anomaly, a swirling mass of darkness at the nebula's edge, seemed to pause, as if listening to the song of the stars. Observers on every ship held their breath as the resonator's harmonics penetrated the anomaly. The darkness within began to fluctuate, oscillating between stability and chaos. It was a dance as old as time, a struggle between creation and dissolution. Meanwhile, Ilara convened a meeting with her tactical team. "Monitor every fluctuation. I want continuous updates. We must understand how the anomaly reacts to different frequencies." As the day progressed, the Coalition watched in fascination and fear. The anomaly, unpredictable yet mesmerizing, responded to the resonator's call. At times it appeared to shrink, its edges curling inward like a creature retreating into itself. At other times it expanded, sending out tendrils of dark energy that tested the fleet's defenses. On board the flagship, Ilara received a direct feed of the data streaming in. Scientists and mystics side by side analyzed the patterns. "It's adapting, but so are we," one scientist remarked, pointing to a graph displaying the resonator's increasingly effective adjustments. As the celestial ballet continued, tales of old seemed to come alive around them. The stories told of darkness that could be taught to sing, and chaos that could find order in the light of unity. Each ship in the fleet, each being aboard those vessels, was now part of this living legend. Ilara took a moment to stand among her crew, her presence a reassuring beacon amidst the uncertainty. "We are more than explorers or warriors today. We are custodians of a legacy that will span the stars long after this battle is won or lost. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting its last golden rays into space, the resonator continued its song. The anomaly, now pulsing less violently, seemed to be listening, learning the melody that the coalition had brought forth from the heart of their united cultures. In the tranquility of space, where the dance of light and darkness played out against the canvas of the universe, a new understanding was forged. This day, like the ancient rites and cosmic harmonics, would be etched in the annals of galactic history, a testament to the power of unity and the enduring quest for harmony amid the stars. As twilight embraced Paxion, the shifting colors of dusk painted the observatory with hues of promise and perseverance. The great resonator, now pulsing steadily in the void's embrace, continued its deep, sonorous call, a cosmic lullaby crafted to tame the tempestuous anomaly. Ilara, standing vigilant by the command center's panoramic screens, surveyed the scene. The fleet, a mosaic of interstellar unity, remained stationed in disciplined silence around the resonator, their collective might dwarfed by the vastness of the nebula, yet undaunted in their purpose. The anomaly, once a menacing swirl of untamed energy, now moved rhythmically, as if swaying to the resonator's tune. Its dark tendrils, previously lashing out like the arms of a desperate star beast, now mirrored the motions of a gentle sea creature following the currents of the deep. "Captain, the anomaly's energy levels are stabilizing. The fluctuations are decreasing in amplitude," reported Commander Rilke, his voice a mix of relief and cautious optimism. Ilara nodded, her eyes never leaving the screen. "Continue the harmonics. Increase the resonance frequency gradually. Let's weave this pattern tighter." The scientific teams, a blend of human intuition and alien precision, adjusted the controls. The resonator's glow intensified, its vibrations weaving ever more intricate patterns across the fabric of space. In this critical moment, Thali approached Ilara, his aged face reflecting the starlight. "We are witnessing the rebirth of harmony, Captain. Our ancestors would be proud to see their teachings not only remembered, but vital in this hour." Ilara allowed herself a small smile. "This is our legacy, Thali. Together we're not just rewriting history, we are defining the future." As night deepened, the data flowing in became ever more encouraging. The anomaly's core, previously an enigma of chaotic energy, now displayed patterns of synchronization with the resonator's output. It was as if an ancient cosmic dance had been rekindled, with each participant finding their place in the celestial choreography. The crews across the fleet began to relax, the tension of the day giving way to a tentative celebration. Voices, once tight with concern, now lifted in a murmur of shared achievement. In the observatory, Ilara convened her allies, their faces illuminated by the data screen's soft light. "We have reached a pivotal moment," she announced. "The anomaly is contained, and its energy harmonized. We must now decide on our next steps." The discussion that followed was spirited yet thoughtful. Proposals ranged from maintaining a permanent monitoring station to studying the anomaly as a potential source of energy or knowledge. As the coalition debated, Ilara reflected on the journey that had brought them here. From the initial shock of the ceasefire to the unveiling of the cosmic threat, they had moved through fear and uncertainty to a place of mutual respect and cooperation. Finally, a consensus was reached. A joint task force would be established to oversee the anomaly, ensuring its stability and exploring its secrets. This force would be comprised of members from all the races of the coalition, a true testament to their newfound unity. With the dawn's first light, Ilara stood once more at the viewport, looking out at the quiet majesty of the cosmos. The stars seemed to shine a little brighter, the universe itself a tapestry richer in harmony and hope. The resonator, now a permanent fixture at the edge of the nebula, continued its song, a beacon of peace and a reminder of what could be achieved when diverse peoples united under a common cause. The tales of this day, of humanity and their allies standing together against the darkness, would echo through the ages, a legacy of courage, cooperation, and the enduring quest for peace among the stars.